What's up everybody, this is the 2016 Acura TLX. Huge thanks to Harrison Auto Sales and Service for providing me here with this very nice TLX to review for you guys today. So about the TLX, well, it debuted for the 2015 model year and was the result of Acura wanting to combine the TSX with the TL. And so you have the TLX here. And so this is the second model year for this, and I think honestly it's aged really well over the past handful of years here. I mean, you still have the dual eye LED headlights up front there that look great, and just a really streamlined front end there. I still really like that shield grille that Acura did for a few years as well. I think it's just a really nice look and looks great here all these years later. This one also especially looks cool and distinctive in this brown color. It's also got a brown interior, so brown on brown TLX seems like a very rare combo, but I'm so glad someone spec'd one like this because it's actually really sharp. Coming down to the sides, you have some nice 18-inch wheels, and the side profile here is, very conservative, but I do like this little line that sweeps up through the middle of the doors there. And then going out back, nothing crazy, but just a nice rounded trunk lid there and some nice distinctive taillights. You also see the super handling all-wheel drive badge on the back of this one because this one is a fully loaded one basically with the super handling all-wheel drive, the V6, and also the advanced package. This is about as nice as they got back in 2016. And I mean, it looks great on the outside and it's very nice on the inside as well. But yes, the interior of the TLX has some good and some bad components. The first thing I have to really say though is this one again looks so classy with the brown leather. I love the way this looks. And speaking of these seats, they are really nice and soft, very squishy leather, just very nicely broken in. This one has about 94,000 miles, so that certainly helps recommend, but they're still soft, supple seats. They've aged really well here, and just really love the comfort here. They're heated seats as well in this top trim. I don't believe you were able to get cooled seats in these just yet, but really love that. And I also love like the leather here on the doors and some faux wood that actually looks kind of nice. Even like the door panel here has some nice soft touch plastic, so it's all actually pretty high quality. So the materials in here for the time, again 2016, and the price point that Acura was selling this at, I think it's actually pretty good and actually holds up pretty well even these days. Moving on to the steering wheel though, it's a nice leather wrapped wheel with a great 9-3 grip and nice little 10 and 2 notches, little paddle shifters here on the back of the wheel, and this one even has a lane keep assist, which is pretty advanced for 2016 to be totally honest, and just a few buttons here on the wheel, but nothing too overwhelming and just really nicely laid out. The gauges are also nice and simple, but really attractive looking. I love how you have the metal bezels there and just nice, clear, crisp graphics, and a little screen there in the middle. It just shows you your basic stuff. Does show you your all-wheel drive split, which is cool. And again, for this time period, totally acceptable, totally fine. Wasn't the fanciest out there, but got the job done, and I think they're great gauges. Coming over to the center of the dashboard though, this is the part that is kind of lackluster. And as far as the basic functionality, it's fine. So, the top screen there is pretty much useless. It does show your navigation. If you have one of these, it's equipped with navigation like this one is, this being a fully loaded one. And so the problem though is the navigation looks like it was 10 years old even in 2016. Even in 2016 standards, this was terrible. My 2006 Subaru Legacy had nav that looked almost exactly like this. So, I mean, was terrible even in 2016, really bad here in 2023, but you just ignore it and it's fine because the main screen you're going to be using is going to be this smaller one down here, and that is actually a touchscreen. It's nice and easy to use, easy to tune through radio stations. It actually has a little bit of a haptic feedback, like buzzing whenever you tap things, so it helps you to kind of realize that you did register something on the screen as well, which is great, and that one works totally fine. And so I think at the end of the day, you're just going to end up using that, and that one might even be able to be retrofitted into something new that could do Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, for example. But unfortunately, in 2016 and even 2017, the TLX still did not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, so that's something you're lacking here in this. And some of the earliest luxury vehicles did have that in 2016, so that is a deficiency even for a vehicle of this time period. But otherwise, you can do Bluetooth audio streaming, it even has a hard drive, auxiliary jack, lots of other options there for listening to music at least, which is great. And so, I think it's totally livable. It's not amazing, it's not great even by 2016 standards, but it's usable, it's livable, and so I don't think it's quite as bad as it might seem. And then moving on to the storage spaces here in the vehicle, it's pretty good. So you have decent pockets here on the doors, you have a nice deep cubby here right beneath those screens, 2 cup holders, and then the center armrest, which is so nice and softly padded, just really feels great, and I love the stitching on that as well. Again, some really nice touches here in these. And anyway, you open that up and you'll see your auxiliary jack and your power outlet in there, and a good amount of space as well. The back seat in the TLX is also pretty good, even by modern standards. So I'm 5'9", sitting behind myself. I have about 3 to 4 inches of legroom to spare back there, which is, still totally fine for a vehicle of this size. Decent amount of headroom as well. And when you look forward, you'll see they have their own air vents there. There's also a fold down armrest with cup holders built into it. There are no pockets in the doors back there, which is the only strange thing I can say. But other than that, a really nice and comfortable back seat. The trunk space is also pretty good, right in line with most other vehicles in this segment, and I don't think you're really going to complain too much. Nice little pockets on the left and the right, and beneath the floor there, you just have a fix-a-flat kit and tiny little cubby, but no extra space under there. But, totally par for the course back then, and a good amount of trunk space. But let's start up and go for a drive. The 2016 TLX has this Acura key that they used right up until even like a year or two ago. It's a really nice key, has a little bit of a metal finish there on the bottom, has a nice weight to it, really feels substantial, but not too big either. A nice small key, does all the basics. I really love this key actually. And of course it is keyless access, keyless entry, and push button start here even in 2016, which was great. So you just leave the key in your pocket, hit the engine start button, and it starts right up. All right, so setting off here in the TLX. So first thing you notice about this vehicle, well, you have a really nice driving position. You have a great view forward. The dashboard really drops down nicely. My seat isn't even up that high, and I still have a really good view forward. View out of the sides is great. Nice thin A-pillars, and you have blind spot monitoring here at the A-pillar as well, but you also have mirrors that have that little extra bubble angle thing, so you can see a little bit better even without the blind spot monitoring, but it just makes for really good visibility. View out of the back is great as well. Another thing I'm really appreciating is that you have great throttle response here, and you just have a naturally aspirated V6 engine, a 3.5 liter, and it's really smooth and just feels nice and responsive. And it's paired up to a 9-speed automatic transmission here in the V6. And the 9-speed isn't the best transmission out there. It's the same one they used in the Pilot for many years and many other vehicles within Honda and Acura. And it's fine every once in a while. I mean, this one again has 94,000 miles, so maybe this one's just showing its age a little bit, but every once in a while the shifts aren't super smooth, and it's just it's fine, and usually works well most of the time. We'll test it out some more as we drive, but as far as the basics goes, it's still just a nice smooth transmission, and road noise is also nice and quiet here. We're just on this park road, so we're not going very fast currently, but just really a smooth, serene ride. Nice and soft with the suspension setup. The way they set this up, I think they prioritized the comfort over the sportiness a little bit compared to some of the competitors potentially, and so it just means it's a really nice relaxed cruiser. But I'm going to go ahead and put it up into the Sport Plus driving mode, which puts everything into its sportiest setting. Let's turn down onto this back road and see how it does. Here we go. Okay, nice and responsive. All right, really gets up and moves nicely, and gives me some aggressive downshifts there when I get on the brakes, so I'm sure if you're slicing it up on a back road, this will be right here with you, and we'll try that out in a minute. But as far as the power goes, it's really solid. So this 3.5 liter V6 does 290 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. And that's a good bit of power for a vehicle that's not very large, and I mean, yes, this is a luxury vehicle, but it only weighs about 3,600 pounds. So it ends up giving you a 5.7 seconds 0 to 60. And, it sounds nice, typical V6 kind of sound, nothing amazing, but, always sounds a little bit better than the 4-cylinder, I think. Although, the other option, if you don't go for the V6 here on the TLX, is the legendary 2.4 liter Honda 4-cylinder engine. That one does just 206 horsepower, so definitely not the motor to get if you want to have the most straight line acceleration, but that motor is just so legendary, it revs a little higher, and that one is actually hooked up to an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. It's a really cool dual clutch where it's still a dual clutch, but it actually has a torque converter as well, so it's smooth from stopping and starting, but still gives you the more responsive manual shifts of a dual clutch. A really cool setup. I've never actually had a chance to try. I'd love to try one of those someday as well. Another cool thing for both the 4-cylinder and for the V6, whenever you stick with front-wheel drive, is that they're going to have rear-wheel steering, and that's again something wild that you even still only see on stuff that's higher end these days, and it's not even available on the new TLX. It's kind of interesting that for some reason they only had it on this generation and that was it, but it's really great. That helps with your turning radius and gives you better handling, all that, and just a really cool thing that they offered back then. Now the upside here of getting the all-wheel drive system is that you have the torque vectoring all-wheel drive system here. The super handling all-wheel drive is what Acura likes to call it, and that should give you some much better handling, which we'll test out here in a minute. All right, now we got a little bit of a back road here that we can enjoy some handling on. So, by the way, we're on 225 wide tires. These are BF Goodrich Performance all-season tires, but 225s are what you get here on these, which is, you know, pretty, again, standard for this generation of vehicles in this segment, although some did do some wider stuff, some of the Germans and vehicles like that. But, you know, as far as handling, you know, this road here generates a little bit more road noise, but it still is, you know, pretty nice and quiet and subdued, and it really soaks up bumps well. I do have to say that. I mean, this road, you know, has these little potholes and undulations and stuff, and it's really gliding over everything. It's really, really well done. A little bit of a tighter corner here, and another one uphill here. Yeah, and I mean, you know, it shifts around a tiny bit, but it's not floaty. It's really tight, and again, this one probably doesn't have the most pristine suspension setup either, you know, being, again, almost 95,000 miles here. But it still feels nice and tight. Steering also is nicely weighted. You know, it's not the quickest steering rack or anything if you want really fast steering around this time period. You know, the Alfa Romeo Giulia that came onto the scene in 2017 has hands down the best handling, the best steering, the best a lot of things. Now the downside is, you know, those aren't going to be probably quite as reliable as the Acura, although some people have great luck with Alphas. But you know, that is still, I think, my handling benchmark for especially this time period in this segment. But other than that, I mean, I'd say this handles really nicely. Now, it's not going to handle as good as a 3 Series, I think, for the time, you know, but I think even the C-Class of, you know, 2016 era is probably a little bit sharper. So this is certainly on the softer, more relaxed side, but probably not as soft as like a Lincoln MKZ, which was also a competitor of the time. You know, I think this kind of nicely blends some sportiness and a lot of relaxation as well. And so I think, you know, you're not going to be the enthusiast pick if you want the sportiest thing possible, but, you know, if you just want a comfortable daily driver that also does, you know, drive pretty well whenever you push it a little bit, I think this is still a great choice. But we've got a nice tight corner coming up here. I'm going to lean on the brakes a little bit as well, which definitely have some travel to them, but are still pretty strong. But I'm going to try out this torque vectoring all-wheel drive. All right, it did make it a little more neutral there. A little bit of protest from the tires, but honestly, it does a really good job with the handling here. I don't know, I gotta say, it's really good. Now, I don't think it's, like, you know, amazing or anything. I will say that, you know, some of the other competitors too that I didn't mention earlier, like the Lexus IS350, the Infiniti Q50, you know, both of those I've spent a good amount of time in as well, and I'd say that both of those do handle better than this too. So this isn't quite as confidence inspiring as those, but you know, they just have a little bit of weightier steering, a little bit more composure and stiffness to the suspensions in those, so that, you know, you just feel like it can keep up with you a little bit better on a back road compared to this. And this time we'll do an acceleration from a stop and see how it goes. There we go. Yeah, nice and responsive. And listen to that motor. It is really, really a strong motor. Feels great, and the V6 definitely doesn't let you down here in this. It is everything that you want out of a V6 engine. And one last competitor I also want to mention is the Cadillac CTS, which was another one that really blew me away with its handling way back even in, you know, 2016, 2017. And again, might not be as reliable as this potentially, but that one is just another one that handled fantastically well. It's just so dynamic while still being very luxurious as well. So a lot of the others, you know, even in this time period, didn't give the compromises that the Acura gave. You know, they still had great performance, but great comfort. And, you know, so it's kind of interesting the way Acura, you know, just kind of didn't take it as far as the others. And so it just kind of has this reputation now as just being one of the comfy cruiser ones of the bunch. Even though they did try with the performance, it was just a lot of others out there that were doing a better job with the performance side of the luxury sports sedan segment back then. And so as a result, you know, this one kind of ranks on the lower end of the spectrum as far as handling in this segment, but again, still totally fine, especially, you know, if your main focus is luxury and comfort. But the last couple of things I mentioned here are pricing and fuel economy. So first off, fuel economy here in these, they're rated at 21 mpg in the city, 31 on the highway, and 25 combined. And so I saw an average on here of 22. I'm not sure, you know, what time period that's been taken in, but, you know, as far as, you know, the fuel economy goes, that's going to be totally in line with what you're expecting out of something with a V6, but also something that's not too heavy. You know, that's why you're able to crack into the 30s there, and you know, totally fine for a V6 all-wheel drive powered luxury sedan, I think. And then the last thing to mention is the pricing and kind of how it compares to the competition. I'm not going to really talk much more about the competitors other than the stuff I've already said. It's just that, you know, some of the competitors, like back in 2016, 2017, the CTS did have Apple CarPlay, for example, and some of the others did give you, you know, more modern interiors, more luxurious interiors, in addition to that, those performance advantages I talked about earlier. And so, again, pricing is going to be all over the spectrum, all over the board as far as current, you know, 2023 pricing. They've all depreciated in different ways, and some are going to be better deals than others. I could go in for another half an hour about all that if I wanted to. But as far as this one, now this one, just under 95,000 miles, is priced at $18,000 for a vehicle that was, you know, over $45,000 new. And this one, again, has basically everything. It doesn't have adaptive cruise control. It's the one thing it doesn't have, but everything else it seems to have, all the modern safety tech and all that, it still has most of that stuff as well. And you know, to get all of this, again, higher mileage in this one, but we're talking about a, you know, Honda Acura V6 engine that should still have lots and lots of life left in it, you know, at 94,000 miles. That's a really solid bargain to have all this luxury, all this comfort, you know, all the creature comforts, this ELS Studio stereo system that I didn't mention earlier, but it's really a good sounding stereo. I've only listened to, you know, radio stations in it, so not the best sampling, but it sounds really good from the little bit of sampling I did do. And so, I mean, it's just a really nice package for, again, just only $18,000. And it's not the only bargain in this segment. You can also get an Alfa Romeo Giulia for 20 grand, and, you know, there's some others out there. But, you know, especially if you want comfort, and again, you want, like, this one, brown on brown, very few competitors even offer that. It's a very, very, you know, niche of people that actually want that. But, you know, just really cool the options they offered on these. And I think, you know, the TLX, like I said, has aged really well styling wise, maybe even better than some of the others potentially. And I just think that overall the TLX is still a really great choice. Again, if your primary focus is comfort and your, you know, luxury sports sedan, I think this is still a great choice, and it's been a totally pleasant time driving around here in the 2016 TLX. But anyway, that's all of my thoughts here on the 2016 TLX. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Huge thanks to Harrison Auto Sales for providing me here with this vehicle to review for you guys today. I will leave the link in the description for the listing. If you're watching this in the first couple of weeks of posting, it might still be available, so check it out and give them a call if you want. They'll be more than happy to help you out. It's a really nice, again, rare combo with the brown on brown. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.